This is where food and football fever collide. Join me as I teach you food and drink fans around the world are eating while they watch the beautiful game. Here are 4 iconic dishes from countries playing in Brazil. Have you ever dreamed about a country you've never been to? For me, it's always been Argentina. I love the idea that it's at the southern tip of South America, and I hope I do right by them today with these empanadas. It's cattle country, and we throw a ton of respect out there for how far they've come in this game and wish them all the best in the final. But let's get to these empanadas. The thing I love about empanadas is they fit in the palm of your hand. And the chimichurri sauce that we're going to do with them just brightens them up and brings them to life. And when you're cooking game food, you want to have something to dip, something that's fast and easy to make. What I've started with is some Vidalia onions, some white onions or yellow onions, and some red peppers. I've just sauteed those until they're translucent or until they're soft. And now we're going to finish making the filling. So I've got some gorgeous beef made and ground straight from chuck, and the thing that's so great about chuck is that it has a nice amount of fat in it. So I'm just going to turn this back on, and into the bowl is going to go a couple pounds of beautiful bright beef we've just ground, and I've got some spring onions which are going to add some flavor and some color. And this is really important. I've got a beautiful spice mix here. We've got red chili flakes for a little bit of heat. I've got cumin and cinnamon. So I'm just gonna put some of that on right now. You can almost do a full dump here. Because it's deep fried, we wanna make sure that we've got a lot of punch of flavor inside there. In addition to that, I'm gonna add just a little bit of salt, and we've got enough heat in there with the pepper. I'll let that come up to temperature, saute that until it's golden brown, and then bring the temperature down so that I can then handle it and put it inside those little packages. So I'll let that sit for just a moment. Let's talk about this dough. This is such a simple dough. First of all, look at the texture of this. It's absolutely beautiful. It's only a couple ingredients. You've got flour, you've got sunflower oil, a little bit of water, and some salt. As a matter of fact, I understand I have a friend, and they make it with the beef drippings quite commonly. So you can imagine the intense flavor the beef drippings would add to this already amazing dough. So what we did is we rolled it out, and it's about 2 to 3 millimeters thick. It's just about translucent because, you don't want a really heavy, doughy empanada. Think about, pie doughs and those really thick crusts. You don't want that. You want nice and light. You want to, from the deep fryer, you want that crunch, and then you want to get right into that beautiful filling. But before we do that, and while the beef is sauteing, I want to put together this chimichurri sauce. This is so simple, and you'll see with a powerful Roboku or a food processor, you can just literally dump these ingredients in, spin them around, and you've got a perfect complement sauce. So we've got white onion, we've got garlic, and that's going in. I've got a chili pepper, 1 chili pepper. I'm just going to remove the stem. And I've got some beautiful red peppers, a little bit of the oil as well. We'll put all of that in there. I've got some fresh cilantro and also fresh parsley. I'm just going to give that a little bit of a twist, and I'm going to drop that in, stems and all. Now, the parsley and the cilantro came right. So cilantro, that's fresh coriander. Very common in Central and South American cuisine. It really adds a lot of character to dishes that otherwise would be, just a little bit dull. And then we've got so let's give this a quick whiz here. We'll pulse it a couple times first, and that just lets all the ingredients fall down to the bottom, and I'm going to turn it on. And look at how bright and colorful that is already. Going to do a quick check on the beef. Oh, if you could smell this right now, this kitchen is literally coming alive. And all of these game foods we're making, they're perfect to share. They're perfect with drinks. you know, and especially when you've got huge appetite, they will shut up the crowd so fast. So now I've got this going here, and I'm just gonna pour in, I've got some sunflower oil, and I've got some red wine vinegar. So the red wine vinegar will give me some nice astringency. And it's very fragrant. I can smell that as it comes off right now. It's just gorgeous. I'm just gonna check on this filling now, which looks to have come along just beautifully. All of the beef is fully cooked. It's come together nicely. And I'm just gonna put this in a bowl. Let it cool. You can prepare this filling 24 hours in advance. Let it cool fully in the refrigerator. The nice thing about doing that is that you can get some of the hard work out of the way ahead of time, and then when you're ready for game day, all you have to do is wrap up these little beauties and pop them in the deep fryer. While the beef cools, I'm going to finish up this sauce. We're gonna add some spices. I've got some ground thyme. It's going in, full dump. I've got some more cinnamon, full dump again. So you got a half teaspoon and a tablespoon. Now I've got some smoked paprika, 1 tablespoon. 1 tablespoon of cumin. And again, for a little bit of heat, I've got red chili flakes. And again, you'll have to adjust this for the amount of heat that you like. I'm gonna put about half a tablespoon in. That'll be lots. Don't wanna set the kids' mouths on fire. So let's bring this together for just one last turn. Now this chimichurri sauce has come together quite nicely. It's beautiful color, and I'm just gonna try. Oh, that's so good. I'm just gonna add this to my dipping bowl here. You see the texture of it. The oil really emulsifies the liquid, so it has really nice texture. It's not going to slide off your empanada. There we go, beautiful. And I've got some beautiful coriander flowers from the garden, just gorgeous. I'm going to set up an assembly line here, and what you're going to see is how quick it is to throw these together. You don't want to overthink this. Just put a few out on the board. And don't worry, this is not about getting it perfect, because the deep fryer will hide all manner of sin, let me tell you. So we're gonna put at least a nice tablespoon in the center of each. I should say a heaping tablespoon. You don't want it to be anemic. You want it to, and yet at the same time, you don't want it to come busting out of the sides. So you can see we've got that beautiful mixture on. Keep in mind, this could just as easily be turkey, could be chicken, could be vegetarian as well. You could simply put a beautiful mixture of vegetables in here. Now I've got an egg wash. I'm just gonna go around the perimeter, just about 1 inch wide around each one. And this could also be prepped somewhat ahead of time. You could prep this for, a couple hours in advance of your guests coming over for the big match. And then all I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna roll that over. You can see the texture of that dough, how beautiful that is. And I'm just gonna do a little turn. So I'm gonna turn it in and over and over. I feel like this is reminding me of my childhood home ec class. And over and over. And I don't think that teacher had any faith in me, but wouldn't she be proud now? We've got, so you see, I'm flipping it over and over, and each time I do, I've got a little bit of a pinch, and a pinch, and a pinch. This one's gonna be just awesome. There we go, little pinch at the end. Again, turn, and roll and pinch, roll and pinch, roll and pinch, roll and pinch. And you can see they take on a really rustic appearance, but like I said, the deep fryer makes short work of them. I'm just gonna quickly check the temperature of my deep fryer. It's at 375 degrees. I'm just gonna lift up the basket, and as I place these in, just make sure you don't splash yourself. There's a little bit of weight there, so make sure that you have some control. Just set them on the basket to start. They're not very delicate. It's surprising how much you can handle them and really move them around. You know, one of the things too is after these are done deep frying, I'm just gonna drop it there. Just give it a little shake, and you see immediately that pastry begins to puff up. A simple pastry, a simple filling, and yet you have a dish that is so tied to a country and a style of living. It's simple, it's straightforward, and the flavors are amazing. You have to make sure to turn these over sometimes. They have a tendency to flop on one side or another. You can see those are almost perfectly done now. They're light and fluffy. That pastry has come up. It's just beautiful. I don't think I could be happier with that. You can imagine these going out to your guests. And they're easy to serve, but the great thing is, one downside, yes, they have to be served right away because deep fried goes soggy. The upside is it's gonna be hot, it's going to be fast, and it's gonna be really, really easy to use. So I'm just gonna plate these. I love it because it's home style. You know, we've got, you got a platter going out, and you can see how fast I assembled those, so you know you can put a bunch of them out and you're gonna have great quality. Now I wanna try this. Listen for the crunch. Oh, awesome. And you get that beautiful texture on the inside. You see it's fully cooked. And I'm just gonna get a little bit of this, this chimichurri sauce, which just looks like it's just gonna come to life. This is gonna be hot. Oh, it's perfect. It's the right balance of heat. And if this is a taste of Argentina, I can hardly wait to go.